Hello friends, welcome back to this series of C++ tips and tricks, and today we are going to discuss about the difference between const versus macro. If you have to use some variable which you want to use inside your application with all the other files throughout the application, then you do something like this: has define macro, some macro, and then you provide some value. All right, so this is the way you define the macro, and if you print it, printf, and if you do like this percentile d and macro, then it will be printed as 10. All right, if you do something like this, const int a is equal to 100, then if you do like this a, then in that case also you can use it, right? So this macro is also a constant variable, this const is also a constant variable, but their difference, but their uses, where you have to use it, you need to choose that very wisely. When we talk about the macros, then for macros you don't have that much control. So where it is a need of using some macro throughout your program, suppose there are a number of files in your program and you want to use this macro in different places in your program, then in that case you can use the macro. But in case if you want some finer control over your variable, then in that case you need to use this const int a, something like this. You should use the const variables, because you will not be able to control this macro once it is available to all the files, but you can always control this thing based on the scope of the variable. If you define it inside a file, then its scope is inside this file only. It cannot be available in other files until someone wants to use it, and he need to use something like this extern int a. Then only it will be used inside other files, right? But in case of macros, if this header file, whatever header file, if I have written it is inside the C++ file, but usually the macros are defined inside the application level macros are defined inside the header files. So if that macro has been defined inside the header file, then in that case you will not be able to control it that fine as you can do with this const. So again, it depends on your uses. So if you think that you want to use something like where you need finer control, then you should use const. Otherwise, you should use the macro. All right. So this was a very small video which I wanted to just make it aware to you, so that you can choose wisely between the constant and the macros. So in the next video, we'll start some other concepts in C++. Till then, have a nice day and bye-bye.